So I'm on my way to the Hinterlands new level 30 to 35 zone in Cataclysm. I don't have a flight path there, so this is why I'm kind of riding through the new wetlands zone to get there. I'm currently playing once again on my Worgen Rogue, Jingle Bell, level 30. He's got 2 bars to go to level 31 and he's a little bit rested. He's also got the guild perk Fast Track rank 1, no heirlooms. It's a combat rogue with the following talent choices and glyphs. Now something that's quite nice about this kind of revamp in this area of the Eastern Kingdoms is that there's a tunnel now. As you can see, it's right in front of me. It takes you through the mountains here into the Hinterlands. Whereas before, you know, you had to kind of go through into Hillsbrad and then round up into the Hinterlands. So this is just one of those changes that makes it easier, which is nice, you know. Okay, so I've arrived in Aerie Peak, the Alliance base in this area, populated by the Wildhammers. And one of the first things that I've noticed is that it doesn't seem to be overflowing with quests in the way that you might expect. It's not very apparent that you've got to kind of come up to the top of this place where the flight path is. I mean, once you get to the flight path, it's obvious, but when you approach, it's not really clear that there's actually quests here. And something that I was thinking that might actually just help people a little bit is that coming up to the base, there could be a quest at the bottom, just to say, hey, you know, come and visit the NPC in the cave at the top here, because it's back into the mountain, and it's just a little bit kind of mysterious that there's actually quests here to be got. First couple of quests here in the Hinterlands are pretty nice. I mean, obviously there's the basic go kill some wolves sort of quest, which I've completed without much problem, and all around there's also these griffins, which it's quite interesting. You have to sort of feed them. You get to throw this griffin chow at them, which is, you know, nice. That sort of explains the kind of Wildhammer friendship with the Razorbeak griffins. Now the follow-up to those initial quests is to go and speak to Care Ironsight at the Stormfeather Outpost, which is not something that I remember from the original game. So I'm going to head over there now and see what's going on, but it looks like the flow of quests in this area has been changed up quite dramatically. I mean, Stormfeather Outposts, that seems to be a new kind of area. Not heard of it before. It's in a kind of spot that was just a random kind of mob area before, so it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. I've arrived at Stormfeather Outpost, and there's 4 quests for me that have been handed out here. There's a mailbox and a flight master. It looks quite built up. The quests themselves send me to the coast mainly, and to this sort of little area near the hills there. One of the first things that I've noticed about this Raven Tusk quest is that you arrive in the area and there's actually real conflict going on between the Wildhammers and the trolls. So that's something that's new and livens it all up a bit. I'm just going to kill Gandrada, who seems to be the leader of the trolls in this area. There's some hexes nearby, so I'm just going to take those out first. Be interested to see if he's actually difficult in any way. He is hurting a little bit. Yeah, he didn't just go down instantly, which was nice. So I'm on the sort of classic slay turtles for their meat kind of quest, and I've got to say, these quests have never felt that engaging really, simply for the fact that they're always neutral. They don't attack if you go near them, so doesn't really give a sense of danger. And the quest that is alongside it is the collecting bottles that are all around kind of thing. So there's no real danger going on here at all. I suppose the only real danger is the fact that I'm quite close to that horde base there, which if it was a live server and a bit more populated, then there could be some kind of PvP ramifications to Horde and Alliance being on these quests. So I suppose that's where the threat will come from, but on its own, it's not all that engaging. And I have to say, if Blizzard ever feels like they want to stop making these turtle quests, I won't really be that sad about it. Something that kind of makes up for the turtle quest is the reward for it, which I've just been given. It's the Nat Pagel Extreme Angler FC 5000, which is a nice fishing rod. Pretty unexpected. It's got a little yellow text at the bottom that says limited edition, so that's quite nice. I haven't actually got a fishing skill on this character, but that is a nice kind of reward that makes you wish you did have fishing. I'm just doing this Skulk Rock cleanup quests, and the users seem to drop these slimy bags. I've already had 2. They just tend to contain random goodies, which is quite nice. Once inside the cave, you can collect the supply crates for all this kind of cluster of quests in Skulk Rock, and inside is the Diaglob, which is this kind of giant ooze thing. Well, that's quite interesting. I'm sort of stuck inside it. That's unexpected and exciting. And there's the sample. Just a quick bug that I've noticed is that one of these Skulk Rock quests, Prime Slime, or Skulk Rock Supplies even, seems to want to send me to the Horde camp, Raven Tusk Village. I mean, it says there in the tooltip it's Stormfeather Outpost, just like these ones, but the icon's here. So obviously that's just a mistake someone's made. They've put the icon in the wrong place. So I've found Umboda 3 heads. I only need one of his heads. For some reason he's called 3 heads. So let's see what he's got to offer. And there's his head. He didn't go down too quickly, so that was a satisfying little fight. There's not really many of these tiki masks around. I mean, I've completed the other quest objectives and I'm still looking for more sort of tiki masks, so I think it could be, beneficial to have a little bit more of those around, or reduce the number that's required for the quest. There's quite a few NPCs at this new little encampment outside Ginseng Law, and something I was thinking might be useful is if one of them could just repair your stuff. Once again with this Dark Vessels quest, you seem to kind of kill the mobs for the other one fairly early on and then be left wandering around looking for vessels. It's nice to keep running into these sort of quests where you're going up against something slightly tougher. I'm about to enrage Ongo Longo. I don't know if I'm actually supposed to kill him, but the quest is to enrage him, so I'm just going to see how that turns out. This is a sort of roleplay thing that's going on now. He's gone a bit mental, and that was quite interesting. Something that's just occurred to me while I'm stealthing up to the top here to get back in to Ginseng Law is it's quite a lot of up and down, back and forth, and I mean I can stealth through because I'm a rogue, but I imagine it'd get a bit frustrating playing another class, just clearing back and forth through all these mobs. And maybe something that would be sort of more helpful is if you could use that new sort of system where the quest completion thing just sort of pops up at the side of in the objectives tracker here, and you can go straight to the next bit, because running back and forth to these NPCs and then all back up through these tiers, it's not all that compelling. There's another one of those strange bugs here where one of these quests, the High Veil documents, is telling me to go back to Wildhammer Keep or Aerie Peak, whereas in fact the tooltip itself says come to the lodge. So that's another case of the question mark handing on the map in this area. It's in the wrong spot. A bit like before when I had the same problem with Raventusk Village. Having handed those quests in, another quest's just become available here, but it's not like apparent straight away. It's more sort of like I was standing there and didn't have anything in my log, and there's nothing to really point you to that. I've just sort of noticed it as I came out, but I could have missed that quite easily. The Fang of Shadra, as you can see, I've completed this one, and the tracker actually sends me to Griffin Master Talanax here in Aerie Peak, who has nothing for me yet. There is a question mark that appears on the mini-map as if I should hand the quest in here, although there's nothing when I try and talk to him.
What can I do for you?
Nothing, so I'm going to go and see if I can hand that in at the lodge, but that's just very misleading. Well, I've sort of done this quest to summon Shadra. What you have to do is go up to each of these altars in Shadra Alor, and nothing's really happening. I've been sent to this Wildhammer lookout to hand it in, but he doesn't really have anything for me.
What can I
No
do for you?
spider god has really appeared for me to slay or anything. I've looked around, can't find anywhere to hand this thing in. I've browsed some forums, can't really find anything further on this. There doesn't seem to be any other chains for me to pick up in the Hinterlands, so this seems to be, unfortunately due to a bug of some sort, the sort of dead end for me now in the Hinterlands. So that sort of sums up this whole kind of feedback exercise on the zone. By and large, I think it's nicely kind of fleshed out compared to how it was in the past. A little bit sort of suffering from quests that send you back and forth a few times. Other than that, though, it's a lot better than it was. I think I can only remember there ever being sort of 10, maybe 20 quests at most in this area, and it just sort of was one of those places that never really came to for long. So it's greatly improved, but yeah, it's just a shame to see this end here due to a bug. So hopefully we'll see less of that in future. Look forward to seeing it complete.